Sony make their own handle for the ZV-1, but this one is an awful lot cheaper. This is a Bluetooth handle and it's made by JJC, and it sells at, let me see, instead of 130 for the Sony one, this one sells for £54. And not only that, but the remote control itself on here comes off as well. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why get a remote control when you're actually holding the camera? One reason for me is on the ZV-1 there are two record buttons, which I find a little bit annoying actually. There's one that's for picture taking and another one for video taking. It's very easy to keep making a mistake. I do find that a little bit annoying, if I'm honest. So at least if I take the on-off bit, the start recording bit and stop recording bit away from the camera, I can't make too much of a mistake because it's the big button on the remote. Not only does it start recording and stop recording, but this is a clever little device in that it's got a little switch here, and the other one is for zoom, so I've got a remote zoom as well. How posh is that? For quick grab shots, it's as simple as this. There, I just took a video and stopped it. Well, that's how you do it anyway. Also, having this remote doesn't make it so obvious that you're taking stuff on the video camera, so you can sort of set the camera up and get much more natural shots when there are other people around. So, you know, just sit here and while I was talking there, I pressed record and no one would know if the camera was going unless they saw the red light, of course. Then, you know, you just basically stop it and you just carry on and no one knows any better. When you're out vlogging, I must admit it's a lot easier having it mounted onto the handle here, and all you've got to do is basically have the camera there and click, off you go, and it's going, and off you go again, and it's stopped. I think that's actually a lot more convenient than holding it there, pressing record, getting it into the right handle, and off you go. And then when you're finished, swap over, turn it off, swap it back, and off you go again. It's actually, it is more convenient, to be honest. The fact that this just converts to a little mini stand as well, a little tripod stand, is very convenient actually. That's very nice. Now this is rather nifty. If you're filming and you're going that way and you're pointing it that way with the record button on this side, it's actually quite nice in that you can just press the little button there and turn the camera around, and when you turn the camera around you can now be vlogging, which is quite nice. And then when you finish vlogging, you press the button again and you send it back again. I think that's really quite nice. I must admit also, I do like to hold this at a slight angle like that. It's more comfortable, so it's offset from the handle and it makes it a lot easier to use. The remote control itself works off a 2032 battery. They're not that common and they're not actually that cheap, but and I don't know how long they last, but those are those quite large battery buttons. So that battery powers the Bluetooth, which probably works somewhere about 10 meters, so you can use the camera about 30 feet away. Since this is quite a lot cheaper than the Sony, I suspect that the build quality isn't quite up to the Sony's. It's fairly cheap sort of plastic, but I do like the fact that you can take this remote control off and use that separately somewhere else and put this somewhere else on a tripod. I think that's actually very handy, and it just clips straight back in. You've got your tripod, you can turn it around, you can angle it, it's quite nice. But the one thing about this is the build. Have a listen. Probably pick that up. It creaks a bit if you squash it, so don't squash it if you're going to use this. But I have found in practice it hasn't been that much bother, if I'm honest. Just a little safety tip: if you are out vlogging, attach this just in case you let go or you drop it. You just don't want your camera to be going to the floor. So put the lanyard on, so if you drop it, you can catch it. Thing is this is going to be top heavy. And you know that old saying, when you drop toast, it always drops face down. The reason it always drops face down, I can tell you now, I'm a professor in toast, is that it's got butter and jam on it, and that's heavier than the bread. So it naturally turns like a cat to land on its feet. Well, this is the same. This is heavier than this. So if you drop it, the first thing to hit the deck is going to be your camera. So put the lanyard on. So to finish, it might not be as sturdy as the Sony one, but it does the job, and I haven't found it that problematic, in all honesty. It's pretty good. So as long as you can accept the fact that maybe it's not as strong, it's doing the job, and it's basically, let's see, it's about the Sony's about 2.5 times the price of this one. So it's a good little option, I think. I think there are some others out there as well. By the way, this also works with other cameras, so if you look it up, you check it out, it works with other Sony cameras as well. So it makes this very useful if you're a Sony man. Hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers for now.